Hello everyone. Welcome back to our Autism Connect web series. And my about me, I am Sakshi Bhatia. I'm the Sensory Integration Certified Occupational Therapist, as well as the Therapeutic Listening Practitioner. So about me, I am practicing this since 6 years. It's been 6 years I am in this field, and it's again about my work experience that has opened my eyes. It's an eye opening actually for me. I have learned so many things from our sweet little kiddos, and the one important thing which I learned from all these kids are that to be more patient, to be super calm, to be more organized. So everything I have learned, I'm sure those who are watching this webinar must they must have the same opinion with me. They agree with me. So yes, one very important eye opening which I have learned. I will share that experience with you later on when we'll be talking about the problems. So I'll be sharing that experience with you. It's a very wonderful experience which I had in my work experience all this while. So yeah, I would like to thank Autism Connect as they have created such a wonderful platform where professionals can reach out to all the parents and can help out especially in this COVID-19 pandemic. So moving on to our topic, which is solutions to sensory issues hampering daily living. Now, the topic itself suggests that there will be lots of solutions to the problems, right? There will be not much of theoretical part. I'm not going to teach you anything. You already are aware of sensory issues. I'm only here to help you out. I'm only here to share my experience with how I help these kids out. And before I talk about the solutions and problems and etc., I would just like to share that each child is different. One intervention which is working with probably one kid is not working with the other. It's not the same with the other. So one strategy will work with one, with the another kid, it will not work. So every kid is different, their needs are different, and you have to look forward to what exactly are their problems, the root cause of their problems, and then it's gonna help the kid out. So I'm gonna give you lots and lots of examples, and in today's webinar, we're gonna cover about the problems and solution that itself anyways the topic says. Apart from that, there are lots videos which I'll be showing it to you. There are YouTube videos which I have picked up. And the only reason I have picked up the YouTube video so that it's easy to access for the parents. They can access that later on or whenever they want. And there are other videos where I'm working with the kids. So that will give you the idea that how actually we are work as an OT. I'm working with the kid and how it's. So yes, moving on to our next slide. That is yeah. So as we all know that there are eight senses. In childhood, in our science textbooks, we used to read about five senses, but ideally there are eight senses. I'm just quickly gonna give you the examples of each senses. Vision, we know it's for to see. Then smell is again the nose to smell it. Hearing is the auditory sense. The touch is the tactile. The taste is all about the how you feel it when you eat the food. Is it tasty? Is it sweet? Is it salty? So that is taste with our tongue. We used to understand that the sensation. The most important sensation I'll be talking about is the proprioception. That is all about the body awareness. Now, I'll quickly give you an example about the proprioception. Uh, when you drive the car, for example, when you drive a car, how many times do you look at your foot that where is your foot on the accelerator or on the brake or on the clutch? Do you look? Have you ever noticed? No, we do not. We don't look at our foot every time we drive a car. So that is proprioception, where I am aware that where my foot is going on while driving, right? So that itself tells you about the proprioception, the position of me with respect to any other object. Or have you ever thought that when you go buy a car, a new car, for example? So then, do you measure the distance between the accelerator and the clutch or brake? No, we don't do. So it's an automatic judgment we have that this is the place where accelerator is there, this is the place where brake is there. So that is an automatic judgment. We are aware. We know the position. So that is all about the proprioception. Now, another important factor to proprioception is the pressure. For example, if I give you the egg to crack open, so is there any parameter to measure that how much pressure to apply to break the egg? No, right? So what is that? That is again a proprioception. If you will put more pressure, it's gonna crack open in a very messier way or very ugly fashion. But if you will put less pressure, it's gonna be okay. Then it's a proper way to crack open the egg. So that is all about the proprioception. Or the another example which I can give you about the proprioception is walking on the stairs when you're climbing. Do you ever look down? First step, yes, definitely you look. Then the other steps you don't look because it's again the body awareness. Now, lots of times when parents come, they report that their kids have issue with writing, or probably they are very clumsy. They go bump into each other. They go bump to things kept around. They're always very lethargic. So these all could be an proprioceptive issues, right? So we will be talking more about the problems later on. So right now I'm just explaining you these senses so that quickly we know all these senses and we all are at the same page. Now talking about the vestibular, another sense, which is also an important sense. Now one more thing which I have to mention over here is vestibular and proprioception goes hand in hand. You cannot separate. So it's not that today I'm only working on vestibular or today I'm only working on proprioception. No, as an OT, we cannot say that. Okay. So vestibular system is all about the balance. It's all about the direction. It's all about the speed. Now another example I would like to give over here is when you're sitting in a car again. So with your eyes closed, you are able to understand whether the car is moving faster, whether your car is moving slow, or is it going forward, or is it going backward, right? Without even looking, or you don't have to come out of the car to see where the car is exactly going. Same in the lifts. The earlier times there used to be a lift with the closed, entire thing was closed. You cannot see outside the opaque ones, right? So when you go inside the lift, you just have to press the button and then you will be able to feel it that whether it's going up or it's going down, right? So that is called vestibular. Apart from that, as I mentioned, that balance is also the part of the vestibular. Now, have you ever noticed that lots of times just sitting, simply sitting or simply standing requires the most, or it's a very difficult activity to, it requires most amount of balance. That's what I was trying to say. That just sitting like that or just standing requires the maximum amount of balance. So when lots of times parents come, they say that my kid is always on the go. He or she doesn't sit at all. They cannot sit still in the school. Even in the school, teachers complain about that. So it could be again a vestibular problems where they are not able to maintain the balance, the body balance, or probably they are seeking for it, or they are aversive to it. So that again, once we talk about the problems, we'll be talking about that. Another very important thing is interoception. Now, this is also something which lots of parents come up with, that my kid is not able to understand pain. My kid is not able to understand that this thing is hot or this thing is cold. Other day, I was making a tea with one of my kids, and the moment he filtered the tea, he was trying to serve. He took the cup and immediately he drank. So he couldn't feel that it's super hot. So that is again interoception. Or lots of times, parents say that kid is not able to tell that they have soiled their diapers, or they want to go to toilet, or they wait till the end, and then they rush to the toilet. So before that, they will not tell that they need to go to the toilet. Same for hunger, etc. So these are interoception senses. Touch, as I already said, it can be a light touch, it can be a deep touch, where me tapping you is a light touch, and the deep touch will be maybe holding it like that, holding the arm tightly. So that is a deep touch, or even the touch of the clothing, the tags of the clothing. So all those come under deep touch. So when all these senses work together, all these eight senses work together, that is called sensory integration, or probably you are able to make sense of the world around you. So that is sensory integration. Now, a simple example: when I'm taking this webinar, my all these senses are active. Any day-to-day activity you do, your all senses will be active. Almost all senses will be active. So when I'm making this webinar, taking this webinar, my proprioception is active, where I know that where is the position of my laptop with respect to me, or where I know that how much pressure I have to apply on the keyboard to move on to the next slide. My vestibular is active, like I'm sitting upright. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not, being clumsy. I'm able to balance my upright posture. Then my touch is active. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm able to feel the texture of my couch, or I'm able to feel my wristwatch, or I'm able to feel my clothing, right, or the specs. That is all about the touch. Vision, because I'm looking at these slides and then I'm talking. Hearing is again active because I'm able to listen what I am saying. Smell and taste, as of now, it's not, but probably if somebody will be cooking, then definitely that smell and taste, um, senses will also be active. So almost all the senses are active in whichever activity you do, right? So even when you are looking at this webinar, your all senses are active, right? So moving on to the next slide. Now, this will tell you whatever I said so far about the senses, about the sensory integration. In a video, you're gonna be able to understand in a much easier way. So here we go. This is a video. So as I said, I'm picking up YouTube videos by the time it's getting downloaded. So yeah, I'm picking up YouTube videos so that it's easy for you to access. It's easy for you, all the parents, to access later on whenever they want. Okay, second, it's gonna take 2 minutes of time. So yeah. So it will, there will be activity shown over here. You can see, and then you will be able to relate much better about what just putting all the slide, and I hope everybody is able to see this. It's a very interesting video. I'll start the main part of it. Yeah, from your end. I guess two video on at the same time, but that's okay. We can do just a So we'll get back to our main video and here you go. So sorry, there is a technical glitch over here. Yes. Right? So that's what I told you. I explained you. In the video, you must have seen that when a kid is trying to play the baseball, all his sensory systems are working together, and therefore he is able to do a complex activity of hitting the ball to the base bat, right? So that's what happens in everyone, me, in you, and in any activity, all our senses are required. So the same thing, it should be an automatic thing, it's efficient, it's comfortable, and that helps or that builds the foundation for the complex learning and behavior. So in the video, the complex learning was learning the baseball, like how to hit the um, ball, and that's the way how to play the baseball. So that is all about the sense. Now, what happens when these all senses are not integrated, or probably one is on the higher end, another one is not at all there. From the response wise, it's not there. So what happens in that? Then it leads to sensory overload, and it's a kind of a traffic jam. This is one of my favorite examples which I give to everyone. Those who are watching and they know, if they know me, then definitely they would have heard this example of mine, because this is very favorite. I give it to everyone. So when I'm here taking this webinar, there is lots and lots of sound, lots of distraction. There is a vehicle sound, the horn sound over there, the technical glitches over here, too much of visual input. Then it's super hot over here. Usually in Bangalore it's raining nowadays, but right now it's very hot. So all these senses are there. Okay, my maid is also cooking, so that I can hear that also. I can smell that also. So all these senses are actually going to my ear. All these inputs, I would say, these are all actually going to my ear, and then it reaches to my brain. Now, what my brain is doing is my brain is able to filter this information, that what is important, what is not important. So my brain is sending me signal that okay, you have to focus more on the webinar rather than getting distracted by the traffic sound or what maid is cooking. Don't think about that as of now. Or even if it's hot, it's okay. You can turn on the fan, but it's completely fine. So I can filter. Now that my brain is helping me out to do it. If that filtration will not happen, then it's gonna be a traffic jam. Okay, this is coming, that is coming. I don't know what to do, right? So that's what happens in our kids. There are too many things around them and too many inputs around, and which their brain is not able to filter out the information which is required at that point. I can do that. I can let go of the sound of the traffic. I can let go the heat. I can let go the other things, so that I can focus over here, because my priorities as of now is different. With the kid, it's not happening. Now, in kids, they actually, observe and take register minute, tiny, detail also they will address that. They will register that. Now I don't know how many of you have heard about Temple Grandin. She is a great professor, scientist. Um, she has love with the animals, the animal husbandry kind of thing. So yeah, so she said that we are able to, register the minute details as well, which so-called normal people like us will not be able to register. Now I'm going to show you the video, so what I'm saying you'll be able to relate better about the sensory overload. Just a second again. It takes time, all these YouTube videos. So yeah, please bear with us. That very interesting video. It will actually show there is a kind of overload, and we tend to say that oh behaviors or child is doing social situations, etc. etc. So I think whereas is actually suffering. Okay. So yes, I think it's understanding that unnecessary we blame a kid where we know the kid is already suffering with so many things. Okay, we'll try once more and see if it works. So yes, as I was telling about the seeking and the aversion. Now imagine an empty, okay? You are just putting water and putting it, putting it, and still wants more and more, fulfilling their needs. So seeking, just filling the cup on and on. The kid is not getting satisfied. That is seeking. On the other hand, have a cup and you will just put one drop of water, it will be like okay, that. So I'm explaining you in the form of cup, but in the video it's way too better, and in video is not coming up like that. Okay, so that is seeking and aversion. Sense they have seeking, for each sense have aversion. Either they want more and more, or they will want more. So whenever they have sense So yes. So did you see that what exactly happened? The child is able to register minute details also. Even the person tapping the pen is bothering the child, or even the lady sipping the juice or cold drink is also bothering the kid. And too much of information in the head is creating a chaos in the head. It's creating a traffic jam in the head. And therefore he's not able to filter that information that okay, this is not important for me. Let it go. So he's not able to let that go. So that's the exact thing which is happening with all our kids. That's called sensory overload or a kind of you know uh, traffic jam in the head, right? So moving on to the another thing telling you about is the seeking and the aversion, which I already started, but in more sense. So let's see this. We it's gonna give you a clear picture about that. About the aversion till the time this is happening, aversion is nothing but there's a resistance. I don't want at all. I am decisiveness or the vestibular defensiveness that they don't like to go on the swings or go in the lifts. All these are the problems. So anyway, we're coming to those problems step by step. So I think the last few are video because it's so yes, those are the vestibular defensiveness which we start. We were talking about sensory So as I was telling, I'll just pause this. So as I was telling about the seeking, they are yeah. So as I was telling about the seeking, they seek more and more. Now it's a kind of food for the brain. Now we have 3 meals a day, right? Every day we have 3 meals a day. It's not that today we had 3 meals and next 3 4 days will not have food. It's not like that, right? Every time we need meal so that we get energy, our body is able to function. Now these sensory inputs are the same food for the brain. So you have to provide these kind of sensory inputs to the brain so that brain is calm, brain is able to function. So this is something which usually we forget. to- We think sometimes that okay, kid is running around every time, and let's just make them sit. No, the kid will not sit because that is the requirement of the brain. Brain needs that kind of input. Brain needs that food to function properly. So that's the reason the kid is running. So we have to provide those inputs rather than just making them sit, um, forcefully. So what usually I do now, this is something very interesting. When the kid is very hyper, he's always on the go, he's just running from one place to other. What I do, I make that running as meaningful running. Now, for example, the kid comes for the session and he's in a mood of running around, and I have set all the activities and everything. Looking at the kid only, I know that he may not sit today. So what I do, the one quick tip which I would like to share is I'll keep a beanbag at one end. I'll hold his hand and I'll say, "Let's do racing. Come, let's race." So I hold his hand sometimes and then we run together and crash on the beanbag, or sometimes we just run like a race is happening and we'll see who will win. that way, I am, channelizing his energy in a proper way. I am not making the kid tired, first of all. I am not into that thing that, the kid is running and kid is super hyper, so let them jump for 100 counts and trampoline. I have seen people doing that. So that's something which is not okay, because ultimately what you are doing when you are asking kid to jump on 100 pounds, first of all, it's impossible. You're making kid tired. You are giving them input, but then you're making them exhausted. After that, definitely he'll get tired and he will sleep, or he will just sit, because nobody has that much of energy to jump for that long. So, but then the next time his stamina is also building up. Next time he might be able to do for more counts, more than 100. So we are not building their stamina. We have to channelize their energy in the form where everything is functional and their needs are getting satisfied, and they should be able to perform the task at that point of time, right? So that is a kind of thing happens in the C. Now moving on to the another slide, which is the main topic. So all this while I was telling you the gist about the sensory issues, that these all happens because of these sensory systems. Now coming to our problems, what sensory processing problems could lead to? Now these are the few categories which are made by me. So there is no as such book or anything which has been uh, categorized in such a way or like this. I'm not picked up from any book. It's something which has I have made based on my work experience. Like when I take consultation, parents come with these problems. Like they have problems in self care, they have problems in social problems are there, they have problems in school, they have general problems. Now, general problems, honestly, I was not able to, categorize those problems in any of the other things. So I have made it as a general problem. If you have ideas, you can help me out in that way. I'll be more than happy. Any other professions, if you would like to categorize this, I'll be love to have you on board. Then comes the behavioral problems. So we'll quickly go through all the problems. I'll be telling you the solutions to it and how you can help the kids out in a proper way. And there are lots of videos where I'll be working. No YouTube videos, so don't worry about the waiting time. So yes. So before going to the problem, I will tell you about my working style, my working experience, and how it goes. So I work on basically on few things. When the session starts, I keep these things in my mind. See behavior, see the behavior. Whatever the kid is doing, see that. Observe that very keenly. Think sensibly. Okay? And the another thing is you have to be calm. The therapist has to be composed, calm and composed, and the child should be calm. Now these four are the key rules, to start any session. You see behavior, you think sensibly, therapist has to be super calm, and then you have to see the child should be comfortable, child should be happy. Now what happens is lots of times when in the process of taking session, forcing kids, there is a time limit. I can understand there is a time limit for the therapist to finish the session, and they have to do so activities in the entire process. The kid is not able to be themselves. They cannot be like the happy kid kind of thing. They cannot play more, so we have to give them opportunity where they can play, where they should think that this is my happy place. They should like to come back to it. So that when I was doing my sensory integration certification, so my instructor, he said a very beautiful thing that if kid is willing to come back to your session, that means he's happy. That means something is improving, and he likes it. And that input or that kind of food which I am providing, or probably the therapist is providing to the kid, that other people are not able to provide that. Probably in the home environment, he's not getting that kind of sensory food, sensory diet, which we call, or in other places or in other environment also, they are not able to, get that kind of input, and they will be more willing to come if I will provide. If they are crying, if they are not happy to come, probably something the therapist is not doing okay. Now that is his perception, which I took it very this thing, religiously, and I'm working on that kind of setup, that kind of mindset I have now. So yeah, so these are the four key points which you have to always remember. See behavior, think sensibly, and therapist has to be super calm, and the child should be more comfortable, more composed, more happy. So that coming back to our problems now, yes. So lots of parents they come with problems telling that my kid is having difficulty with haircut, my kid is having difficulty with combing, my kid is having difficulty with nail clipping, shower, toileting, the footwear. So all these problems. Now start with definitely you have to look for the sensory signals that why it is right. So for example, this haircut. Why the kids they do not like this haircut? Probably because of the sound of the scissors or trimmer. Sorry. So sound of the trimmer they do not like that sound, or it could be a tactile thing where they don't like the touch, or with the or while cutting the when hair falls, right? So they don't like that kind of texture. So they are right. Another very important thing which I have noticed from my work experience is anxiety, anticipation of any such kind of activities, right? So as when I started, I was telling you about the eye-opening experience which I have. So now it's the correct time when I can tell you about that experience. Is so there was this kid who was having lots of sensory difficulties, especially the haircut, the lift, the hair washing. All these were there. Even the dressing was a problem. So the hair was all grown and everything, all big. So mom was very upset because from school they got a note that you have to do his haircut, otherwise please don't send the kid. So mom also was very upset about it. The kid was very smart, cognitively very smart, verbal, but with lots of sensory difficulties. Okay. So mom was very upset. Mom called me up. This happened. We have to do something. We were doing right. We were doing. I was giving him sensory diet and everything. Somewhere we were not able to, get that breakthrough. That okay, now it's the time. We'll be all ready to do the hair. I was like, okay, let's see. You come for the session and we'll see what can be done. So it was a usual session. They came for the session, and I gave him the set of activities. He was on the swing. He was playing with the massager. All the sensory diets. I was giving him Therabash. Everything was going fine. The one good thing was that he was very keen in reading and writing. Like he can read sentences, he can make sense out of it, he can write. So that was, I would say, that was his strength, right? So I was like, okay, why not? Let's try writing. Let me make a visual kind of thing, visual cues I can give him, and visual schedule kind of thing, and then let's try hair cutting that. So first, I was anyways prepared in my head that I'm gonna do my section. So then I wrote in the paper that hey hi let's do a haircut. So his response was no. I was like it's okay, your hairs are growing, and in school also they said. So why can't we try hair? So he said no, I don't want. I'll not go to school, but I will not do but I'll not do the hair. So that was his. So I was like, okay, what if I'll do your haircut? It's gonna be much more easier, right? If you will not feel okay, you can tell me, and then we will, we'll stop then and then. The kid said to me, kid, he was writing all the answers. So I was also writing all the questions, and he was also writing all the answers. And he said, no, it will hurt. So I said, no, it will not hurt. I'll be very cautious while doing the hair cutting. And moment anything will happen, moment you will feel uncomfortable, you stop then and there. You tell me that stop, we don't want to. So we'll do. So he said, no, it will not hurt to me. It will hurt to my hair. I was shocked. I was shocked that I've never thought of that perception, right? So that completely gave a different perception. Then I started probing more and I asked so many questions and everything. Then I got to know that the mom, like the kid said that when he was playing with the, scissors at home, mom told him that if you will play with scissors, if if you are just playing with scissors, you might get hurt, you might cut your finger, or you might it will bleed, it will hurt, it will pain. Now that thing was there in his head throughout. So he thought that moment my hair will get cut, my hairs will get hurt, my hairs will get pain. That was something very different, very unusual, right? So we never thought of that. That's a different perception altogether, and that was very eye-opening for me. And I was all quiet. Honestly, I was very quiet then. I was like, I don't have anything to say that at that moment. I just said, okay. What else I could say when he had such a mindset? Then I was thinking, and we were having sessions. We tried a couple of times, and everything happened. And then we were like, okay, let's try that. In the next session, I think after 3, 4 sessions, I was like, okay, let's get the scissors. And today you're gonna cut my hair. Though I have a very long hair, so I was like, okay, you can cut one strand. First of all, he was like, are you sure I can cut your hair? He was very excited with that. So I was like, yeah. So he was very excited at that moment, and suddenly he switched and he said, no, it will hurt. I was like, why don't you try cutting the hair, a strand of my hair, and then we'll see what happens. Okay? So even mom was shocked. Mom actually asked me that, are you really going to cut your hair? I was like, it's okay, one strand. We have to help him out in this kind of scenario, right? Because he has a kind of mindset in his head which is very unusual. Until and unless we will not explain him, right? He will not be able to get over with that kind of problem. So, which honestly, as a therapist, I never thought of. He was having sensory problems. We were working on that, but this is something which we tend to forget that this also could be one reason, anxiety. Like even though his sensory problems are getting better, sensory needs are getting better, but still that blockage is there because he's so anxious. He's anticipating about that pain. So he actually cut a little strand of my hair, and I was like, "See, nothing happened. Let's go and throw it in the dustbin. It's fine. It's completely okay. Next time when you come, it will be all grown up again." So that was happening. So then after that, he was little calm. That okay, this will happen. Now what I did, I was anyways giving him the sensory input. I was anyways giving him the sensory guide. But along with that, I was giving him that comfort of this thing, that a surety that nothing is going to happen, right? So then he was much more better. Then I asked him that whether you'll go to barber for the haircut. He said no. Can you do the haircut? I'm like okay. So I tried cutting one strand again. So one strand. And then slowly, he was getting little better. But then again, my goal was that he should be okay. He should let go that anxiety. He should be able to go to barber also and all those things, right? So then the other time, what we tried, we were trying to cut. This is again another case. So I was trying to cut his hair. He told me that when you cut my hair pinches me. Now he couldn't say that it pricks. Like when you cut, your hair is all over your body. You don't like that texture. He said that it pinches me. Honestly, I was laughing, but yeah, I shouldn't laugh. But then that was so innocent of him to say that hair is pinching me. Now we take a very literal meaning of everything. So you have to understand that. You have to help them out with those kind of anxieties as well. Whatever sensory inputs you are giving, that is definitely needed. But apart from that, you have to help them out with your, anticipation, anxiety, and all those things. So I'm going to show the picture of this kid and happily he's sitting in the barber shop. Because then I said, okay, if it's pricking you, then we'll clean it every time. Okay. So I told him that we'll clean it every time. So yeah, before showing to the video, I'll finish this sentence. So I told him we'll clean it every time, even when you'll go to the barber next time. If he's not cutting properly or if the hair is there, you scold him, you tell him. So I told him in that way, in such a way that you tell him nicely that please do it properly or clean me or something like that. Now there, I'm not forcing the thing, right? I am the trust is being built between the kid and me, right? So everything went smoothly. Now this is only one scenario. There are different kids, as I said, different problems, the root cause will be different. So you have to look for those sensory signals. That's why I mentioned it over here. Look for sensory signals. And I also told you about ideas to help in my entire thing. So this is the kid now. I will show you his picture. And he was so happy with that. I just a second. I'm not able to find the picture here. So mom was so happy that he is, letting barber cut his hair. So it was a big achievement for us. I don't know where that picture went off. So I have it over here. I'll show you this picture after a while. The same issue was there with the another kid. We'll talk about the another kid, and meanwhile I'll search the picture and I'll. Okay. So now this we were talking about the haircut. The another main issue was for the combing. So the same. This girl, very pretty girl, super talkative, and with lots of sensory difficulties. So she was also having big time difficulty with hair combing and as well as hair washing. So I'll show you the videos of this girl. Mom used to tell me that, oh Sakshi, the early morning moment we get up, this is the moment we get up, our combing time, our hair washing time is such a difficult time. The entire mood goes off, her mood goes off, our mood goes off. So much of drama happens in the morning. So we were like, okay, let's try. So now for this girl, so that's what I'm trying to explain. That you have to work, you have to see the strengths of the kid. What kid likes. Take that strength as an opportunity to help them out in their sensory problems. Now, this kid, she was very fascinated again with my hair, right? And somehow that time I colored my hair with the green color. So she was very, very fascinated with that color also. That, oh, it's a green color. So through that, I was able to break through. Though I was already giving her lots of massages with TheraBrush, lots of massages with the vibrator, and other textures which I usually use. So this was the end product. You can see. I'll reduce the volume, and we were singing song over here that brush my hair. Mommy, daddy, brush it every day. So she's all happy. She's singing, and now she's able to make phone. The mom was so happy. Still, there are times when she was not okay, but we tried our best, and then she got used to it. Right? So this is the way we did her in her combing, and the same for the hair washing. So for hair washing, I think I have a video. Yeah. So as I was telling, I spoke to her. I said that she was very fascinated with the green color. I said you have to wash your hair because when you go to a parlor, they will wash your hairs and then only they can put the color and everything. And before that, you have to grow up and then only they can do. So they have certain rules. So yeah, then she was like, okay, I will wash. I was just waiting for that sentence to come out of her mouth. And we were like, okay, let's go. And then she's like, no, but then moment I took her to the washroom and she said, no, no, I don't want to do it. So we were like, okay, let's try playing a game. So I'll show you what actually I did. So I have this kind of thing. So this is a baby bath kind of thing. So this baby was there. So I showed him. There is also a pipe over here. Okay. So what we did, I filled the water in it. I think everybody is able to see this. Yeah. So the kid was lying like that and she was washing his hands. So I was, along with the sensory things, I was actually giving them lots of modeling kind of activities, the video models kind of thing, where they can see what is happening. Like in the earlier case also for haircut, he was cutting my hair, or even in this washing thing, there is the entire setup which we built up. And then, so yeah, then she was very happy and very keen. Okay, let's go wash hair and everything. The first thing she asked whether there will be a bathtub. I was like, there is no bathtub. We'll put a chair. You can sit nicely, and then you can do this. And then she wanted the pipe. So we have another, a hand shower over there. So we use that. This is the way we do. We were not having any shampoo or anything, but we tried washing her hair in this, and she was all happy with that. And surprisingly, after that, it was all okay. So yes, so this is the way we did the hair washing. So it helps. Definitely, it takes time. So I'll not say that it was an easy task and it just happened, right? So it took time for us. Yeah, it took time, and then slowly, we were able to build up that trust with the kids, and then yes, then it happened. Then it just happened. Okay, I think I got the picture of the thing I was telling. This was the haircut picture. Mom was very happy, and okay, my battery is running low. Quickly, I'll put it on the charging. Just a second, please. Yes. Okay. So this is the picture. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can see or not. It's just great. Lots of technical glitches here. So yeah, moving on. By the time picture is coming, we can move on to the another thing, which is nail clipping. Now again, nail clipping is also something which all the kids they hate. Now that's what I'm saying. That along with the sensory um, diet, along with all these things, you have to make child comfortable, and that's what my first thing was. The key rules which I said about uh, four key rules which I said while taking the session. It makes it easier for the kid. More and more kid will be comfortable. More and more it's going to be easier for, you know, yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry. In between the picture came. So yeah, this was the haircut picture. Was super happy that he's sitting for the haircut, and actually he scolded the barber that do it properly, uh, do it from this side, rub things. So yeah, okay. So moving on to the next nail clipping. Yes. Okay, nail clipping. So yes, this kid also was having lots of difficulty with nail clipping. So what I did, I was trying to give pressure. Now you can give pressure on the fingers, so that way you are comforting them. You're giving more of proprioceptive input to them, right? So what happens usually when we go for in parlors, all these pedicures and manicures they do, right? So what exactly happens over there? They put lots of creams, lots of massages, and everything is being done, and then it gets super easy for the nails get very brittle, right? So it's easier for the person who is doing all this work. It's easier for them to cut, but still we are anxious. Oh, don't do that way. Oh, don't do. Be gentle. Be careful. So we also get anxious. It's not about that only kids are getting anxious. Anxiety is something which can happen to anyone. Now, when I started this webinar, I fumbled in between. I fumbled a lot of time because the technical glitches were there. Um, you know, lots of things were not at the place. So I was getting anxious with that, which is okay, which uh, everyone and anyone can go to that phase. Anyone and everyone can get anxious. So same is with the kids also. So we gave lots and lots of pressure. We gave lots and lots of tactile activities where he was more calm. He was very happy, and then the you can see the result where I am making a video and it is, yeah, you can see this, right? So now this we are doing. So in between also see, he is closing his ear. He's still anticipating that probably she's gonna do it, doing a very hard way, or it's gonna hurt me or something. So still these things are there, closing your ears and all. He's anticipating that kind of, thing that it's gonna hurt. So that way we have to make it super calm. We have put paint on it on the you can see the paper over there, right? So there is paint on that. So he's getting that kind because he likes pink. He likes that pink color. So he's more fascinated looking at that. And again, the same interest. We have mixed interest and the sensory part together. So that way it's getting easier for the kids. Okay, so yeah, we are done with the nail cutting. So same with the one more video I'll show for the footwear. Now all these things which I told, it took me a long time to fix, right? Um, Fortunately, everything is at place as of now till date. But the footwear thing which I would like to tell now, this is something very different scenario which happened over here. Very different experience. So this kid was all okay with wearing footwear, and there were no issues. Suddenly, the time came, and I think he got hurt. I'm not sure, but I think he got hurt on his foot, and since then he stopped wearing the foot. Okay, so we all were just thinking that okay, let's try giving lots of massages. Let's try giving him TheraBrush. I actually gave him lots of different kinds of textures. So I have I'll show you those different textures also. So I have these kind of cushions. These are of different textures. Okay, so I made a path with that, and kid was happy walking on that. Still, it was all okay. It was all going okay. But when moment he was okay with all the textures also, surprisingly. The moment when it came to walking with the footwear on, sorry. So then the problem starts. So we were just sitting and we were talking about that, and then I was giving him vibrator because he likes vibrator a lot. So we were giving him the vibrator and all that. And usually what happens is in our clinic we wear the clinic slippers, right? So somehow I don't know what happened. He liked my slipper or what happened. I actually don't know. So he took my slipper, and then I said, "Oh, you wanna wear this one?" Actually, wore that slipper and he walked. And I was like, okay, so probably that I usually have the doctor slippers, right? So it has a very different texture and very nice to walk with. So he liked that. So I was like, oh, okay, you like that? Come, let's walk with that. So then he actually walked with that. And I honestly, it took 1 year probably. After 1 year, that kid was wearing that slipper. Then I told mom about the same, and I asked mom, insisted mom that if she can get such kind of doctor slipper. Then she was not able to find it out, and I also searched on Amazon and everywhere, and somehow we got a girl's slipper, girl's doctor slipper, and we actually got it, right. So then I gave it to him, and he wore that, and he was walking with that. So I'll show you that video. Um, just a second. Give me a sec. There are so many things that I keep forgetting now. Where is okay? Yeah, you can see this. So now this is the same slipper we both are wearing. Can you see that? And he's okay. Now here I'm holding his hands and we are walking. But still it's not proper. but he's trying well. He's trying well, and we were able to achieve that. And we were so happy with that. And then slowly, we wanted him because he was more used to with these slippers, with all these chappals. And then we were like, okay, we have to move on to Crocs. We have to do something about it. So then there's another video where, and again I am holding his hand because I stopped wearing the chappal. The moment I wear chappal, he remembers that there is chappal as an option. I was wearing shoes, and then I told him to wear the Crocs, and then he's okay with those Crocs. And this is the another video. Now in both the videos, I was holding his hand because he has a tendency to run and throw the Crocs. Now this is the one which you can see where he is doing the activity independently with the Crocs. You can see the same Croc. Now what is happening is he's okay with this Croc. Now till date he's only okay with this Croc, and he's only okay with me when I am around. He's okay wearing it. Now he started recently. He started wearing it at home also. But he has a thing in his head whenever we wear Crocs or whenever we wear chappals, we have to go. At home, we don't have to wear it, which is completely okay, which is this thing. But he only likes this red one. He doesn't like the new Crocs which his mom had bought. But we are practicing. We are practicing. We are desensitizing him. We are helping him out in all the possible ways, and therefore it's gonna be easy. So these were the self-care problems. These were the videos which I showed, which I was working in. These all were purely my experience, which I was sharing with you. Every person is different. Every kid is different. Every therapist is different, and their style of working is also different. So this is my way of helping the kids out. Now coming back to another problems, social problems. Now social problems where the kid is having difficulty in going in elevators, escalators, um, on the playground equipment like swing and all. They do not like going in the birthday parties and all. Now what happens? Now again, look for the sensory signal. For example, if I pick up this birthday party thing, what will be the main cause? It's too much of overload or auditory overload that so many people are around, so many things are happening around. Balloons are gonna burst. People are shouting. People are happy. All those things are there. So it's a kind of auditory overload. So then kind of meltdown, which I showed you in the sensory overload video. So that's what happens exactly with the kids, right? So I'm not saying when the kid is having problem, you don't have to take them. I'm not telling that at all. I'm telling take them, help them out. Before that, prepare them. Because then, see, if one experience goes bad, then they will have that in their head forever. So, and that will happen, right? So, you have to prepare them. You have to reduce their anxiety, and then only they'll be able to cope up. So, with this one, with the birthday party thing, what we did in our center, we have lots and lots of other therapists. We actually celebrated the birthday. And then the kid was like, oh, okay. And then we were like, okay, let's do that. So we have lots of group sessions, very interesting group sessions we have. Unfortunately, I cannot share those videos because editing is a big task for me to hide the faces. And so many kids are there. So we actually do celebrate birthdays of the kids, even though birthdays are not there. But as social problem, we do that. And they all are very happy. And then slowly, they are able to apply those things which they have learned in the therapy center in the real life scenario. So that's why we are desensitizing them anyway, and we are helping them out too. Now, same with the lift thing. Now, what happens with the lift? Kids are very scared. Kids are not able to understand that, oh, I'm going up. I don't know now. I'm getting a panic attack, or I'm going down. I don't know what to do. Or there are lots of times where kids are always on the go, especially in the bigger places, right? In the bigger places like malls and all, it gets very difficult for the parents to handle. So those are social problems. Now, I'm gonna give you a very simple example here that what If you will see a snake in front, what will be your first reaction? Fright and flight. You will be scared and you will run, right? That's what exactly happens with the kids because they already anticipated that, oh, it's such a big place. There are so many people. The sound is gonna come, and I cannot bear it. They just run like uncontrollable, unmanageable. Right? The same we did with when I said about the snake example. When I gave you the snake example, right? Fright and flight. Even though we know that snakes cannot see, snakes can only sense. If we'll stand at the same position, the snake might just go. Snake will not be even bothered about being dead, right? But it's a panic state. In the panic state, what was the first thing which we did? We ran. We were afraid. We ran off. That's what happens with the kid. Or the another reason could be they're super excited because they don't see that many people around, right? So they're super excited. Oh, I got such big place. I want to explore everything. That also could be one reason. So when you do all these kind of things, like for example, when the kids have these kind of difficulties, you have to desensitize them, giving them lots of vestibular input, where vestibular input in terms of when they are on the swing and then they can perform activity. Another very important thing which I usually give to kids is therapeutic listening program. So they have headphones on their head and they have a lot of calming music which is on in the headphone and they can listen to that. The entire concept of therapeutic listening program is the binaural beat. Probably lots of engineers might be able to understand. I'm not that techy person, so I'm not able to understand much about it. But they say that they have changed the frequencies of both the ears. So sound which is going on the right side might not be the same on the left side. The frequencies are being changed and it reaches to brain and help them to calm, right? So these are the social problems and these are the ways you can help. Please check with your therapist that what is the root cause of the problem and what exactly we can give them in the terms of vestibular input or in terms of sensory diet so that they'll be calm and they'll be able to overcome this. Another thing is video modeling is very, very important. You can also show them the things. You can do visual, you can give them visual cues of the animated picture. You can show the other person doing it. So that also is something which kids they will understand better rather than just telling do it, do it, do it. It will not help. Kid is facing problem and more you are pressurizing kid do it, do it, do it, why can't you do it, or that kind of thing. Or if you are getting panic, then they have that mirroring kind of thing. They can mirror your emotions as well. And they get more and more upset about it that they cannot because they know that these are the things which they are not able to do. If the kid is able to anticipate, that itself says that kid is able to understand things, right? So yes, moving on to our next slide, problems in school. Now this is something which is very common. I have heard problems in school, holding it together at school, meltdown at home. So I think if our this thing is on, I will show you this video again. Yeah, so you'll be able to understand more over it. That I already said. This is the kind of thing you feel at We already spoke about this. Now, this is very important. I'll tell you about this. Right. Now, this was the thing I was trying to explain, that lots of times in the school when they are there are too many things, there are too many instructions which they have to follow. They are too overwhelmed. There are too many people around. They are not able to, problem solve at that point of time. So they hold it together. They don't want to cry there. They don't want to, show tantrums over there. Probably they are not comfortable. That's not their comfort zone. And moment they come back home, a smallest thing also will trouble them. It's like a fizzy drink which you have seen in the video. That it's a kind of fizzy drink, and the entire fizz is there outside. Little thing, it's just coming out, and then ends up having meltdown. So for that you have to prepare your kids before going to school. Give lots and lots of proprioceptive activities where they can play with you know they can roll on the floor, they can be on the swing, they can have different tactile plays like playing with shaving foam, which helps them out, or playing with water beads. All these things will also help them out, and they'll be calm, they'll be super calm. Or just if you want, you can just give massage, because I understand before going to school, you don't have that much time. You have to get up, you have to do so many things, and you don't have that much. At least a therapy or a massager, you can just give for a few minutes, and then it's all done. At least it'll be calm, you'll be composed. Now, another problem which I keep hearing with parents is that my kid is not able to write, or probably when he's writing, then the grip is not proper. The grip is not proper, or when they write, the pressure is not okay. Sometimes when they write, they are not able to see at all, and sometimes when they write it too dark. They put so much of pressure. So that means they are not able to judge. As I told you in the first slide about the proprioception, they are not aware of the pressure. So I'm gonna show you the very nice videos to help the kid out in such scenarios. So this is the kid who was having difficulty working on this one. With writing. In between, I forgot to show you the video of lift. A kid who was having lots of balance issues in the lift and all. I'll show you that after this video. So you can see this I was trying to do. So I'll just a second. I'll just reduce the volume so that I think the name of the kid will come. So I don't want that to. Yeah, so reduce the volume. So this was the thing which I was doing with the kid when we were having difficulties with, biting, where we were not able to understand the pressure. This is a dropper, and it itself gives the proprioceptive feed, and they are able to understand that, okay, this much pressure I have to apply, this much pressure I have to apply, so the water will fill in, and this much pressure I have to apply, so water will go off. I usually give lots of water beads also, so I'll show you the water bead. Okay, I think another. So I usually give water beads to the kids. So they can actually break. So I don't know if you will be able to see these kind of water beads. So they can break it. So they have, this is a water bead. Everybody can see. So they can actually break it. It's a good sensory thing also. It calms kids down a lot because it's a kind of messy. They have to put pressure. They can squeeze it. They can do all those things, and it's gonna help them to understand the amount of pressure. So I have another kid also who is very scared, to put the pressure. Now, when I give these water beads to the kid, I will be able to understand that whether they have the understanding of the pressure or not. And then, based on that, slowly we teach about the pressure. So he was not able to, break this. When the kid is not putting pressure while writing, you can actually give water beads to them. They have to break it. They can break it with the pencil as well. So you have pencil already. So you can actually break it with the pencil. So their grip will be proper. They'll enjoy. So you can take it in a big bowl. You can take it in a big box and then let them soak it. I also give them, therapy. I think I have, yes, therapy. So what I do, I ask them to write it on therapy. So the thumb rule over here is if they are putting more pressure, I have to tell them that put it very light. So this you can see very lightly, and the impression should be like that. And when they are putting very less pressure while writing, I tell them that you write it in such a way that it should break. The clay should break. So you can see the clay is breaking. So that's the way when you will give them cues that what they have to do. Then only they'll be able to understand the pressure because it's something which is very automatic, right? There are no medicines for it that okay, this much pressure you have to apply, or this is the way you have to do. It's very automatic in the head, and you cannot teach. There are no medicines for it to teach, or there are no other ways to teach that, right? So slowly with the practice, it will come. Definitely, it takes time. I'm sure all the occupational therapists, if they are watching this, they'll be agreeing with me that definitely it takes time, but you don't have to give up. You have to keep trying it. Try different ways. Try different. Now, for just writing, I gave you three different things, right? So the dropper thing, the water beads, therapy. So that way, we have to be creative enough. And in fact, at home also, parents has to be creative enough. They have to keep trying it, and then they definitely their kids will be able to. Because as I said in the first or second slide only, that they when they have the capability to register the minute details also, this is simple for them. This is easy for them. It's just they need a right way. Moment that right thing clicks in their head, they'll be able to do it. Right? So yeah, these are the problems in school. So I was telling you about the few videos which I forgot to show you actually. So I'll show you this kid who was having lots of difficulties with the lift as well as sitting on the potty seat. I'm sure somebody would have asked about that also, and the questions will come to that as well. Okay, not this one. Sorry. So this is the kid who is very scared of any movement. Okay, any movement. He cannot even stand on the chair. He's very scared of that. He's very scared of walking on any, fine pathways like the thin pathways. Uh, he cannot walk on that. He cannot stand on the chair. He's very scared of that. So definitely sitting on the potty seat is a challenge for him because the they're not able to balance it, right? So purely vestibular difficulty. So here, although I had to hide the face of the kid, but the kid is wearing the headphones. So this is the video where I'm giving him TLP. I'm holding his hand, and he's on full support. So we are doing it slowly. He is not leaving my hand, and he's all happy. Otherwise, he was very scared. Going inside the barrel is still a question. But with the lots of these practices, this is the second video which I'll show you that he is going. He's going inside the barrel. So this with TLP and along with the TLP. The headphones were on throughout. So this, with practice and everything, he was able to do. And then this comes the final video where he is inside the tunnel. You can see we all have earlier this much movement also was a problem for him. So he was not ready to go inside, but with lots and lots of practice, with lots of assuring him that he is okay, he'll be okay. Um, Desensitizing him, giving him lots of sensory input, giving him TLP. So now too many things I'm working on together. So if you would have noticed, I'm not doing only one thing at a time. I'm doing too many things at the same point of time. So the kid is much comfortable. And you can see when kids are having difficulty, still they are fine and they are not crying, right? So we have to go really slow and based on the child's pace, and then it's gonna be okay. This is another video. This kid was very scared. I remember we used to have center in Bangalore on the fifth floor, and coming to fifth floor was a big problem because it was very scared of the lifts. So we worked on his vestibular input, and we assured him, we helped him out, we actually modeled, the video modeling of things we did. We did lots of things. So this is the thing where mom is really happy sending me this video that he is sick. So what I did was I was telling him that okay, you go inside the lift, we'll see what are the numbers. Let's see, let's hold the bar, let's do this, let's do that. So I was also giving him lots and lots of options that this all you can do. If you are scared, you can stop at any moment and you can come out. So that way his anxiety was very, there was no anxiety, it was little less compared to what it was. And then it helped the kid in a very nice way. So till date he's all okay and he's just going in the lift. He's happy with the haircut and recently also I think he did a haircut and he sent me the picture. So that was the picture which I showed you. Okay. Now these are the problems. These are the general problems seen in their daily routines. Now this I was talking about. I was not able to categorize it. So I'll be able to tell you that these kids are sometimes scared of unusual fears they have. Scared of hookah whistle sound, drilling sound, horn sound. So hookah whistle I have experienced. So in that case, what I did, if that this kid likes to sit on the ball. I was like, we have a big gym ball, so he usually likes to sit on the gym ball. I was like, okay, let's sit on the gym ball, and we're gonna see the YouTube video where we're gonna make something. We're gonna cook cake because he likes the cake. So again, the strength I have taken, the interest I have taken, and then I showed him a YouTube video. So lots of times I hear that you videos are not good, and you shouldn't show the videos to the kids and all. I agree with that, but as such, there is no right and wrong. While parenting also, there is no right and wrong. You end up showing whenever now, especially in this COVID time, when you are not free, you end up showing the videos to the kids, right? So why not take that as an advantage and show the video where the kid is already scared of the kid is scared of. Like for example, hookah whistle. There are lots of YouTube videos where you can have the hookah whistle sound. They can see that, and then I gave them an option that okay, you can stop whenever you want. So how I started this hookah whistle thing, I gave the kid a therapeutic listening program, where there was a headphone on, and he was sitting on the ball. He was bouncing on the ball. The headphones were on, and then I showed a YouTube video. I told him that whenever you feel uncomfortable, you can stop by this point, right? So slowly, I was giving him sensory input also. I was assuring him that he is comfortable, as well as I was giving him the opportunity that he can stop, right? So then the things went. But this did not come in one day. We kept practicing. We did so many things, and then it was okay with that. Same with the drilling sound. So when the kids they do not see the source from where the sound is coming, they get very anxious. So more you will write it down, the visual skills you will tell. And definitely with the vestibular input, they get much more better because vestibular input, the the sensory system which is related to our balance, which is related to our movement, is also connected to the auditory system because the receptors are there in our ear, so it goes hand in hand. So that way it works well. So along with the vestibular input, you can do lots and lots of things. So even in our center, our all the speech therapists they follow. They do not just sit on the table and chair and they take therapies because my partner, she's a speech therapist, a very wonderful speech therapist, follows lots and lots of OT activities in the speech session. So that way, it's very helpful for the kids. You know, when you will bound the kid to sit and you will ask them to say that what is this, flashcards, it will not work. You give them something exciting, and definitely the things will come up. Like for example, this is one of the session of my partner, a business partner. She's a speech therapist, as I said. That we both were there, and the kid was on the swing. So we were moving the swing slowly, 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 and then I just stopped the swing, and the speech therapist, she was there, and she said, "Okay, do you want more, more?" And suddenly the thing came because the interest was there, the vestibular input was there, and the urge to tell it out was there. Right now, what happens is when you tell the kids will be like, I don't want to talk. Why I have to talk? There is no meaning to it, right? So that way, vestibular inputs when we provide, it can be provided in any fashion. It can be provided in any session. Either it's a speech session, or either it's an OT session, and you see lots and lots of improvement with that because kids get very alert. Their brain gets very alert about the speed, direction, and if they like it, they will ask for more. Or if they don't like it, then slowly, slowly we have to take it off. Right? Love to make noises again is something which probably they are seeking for the auditory input. So with therapeutic listening and the sensory input, lots of times we have seen they do not make noise and they are much more comfortable. Throws toys constantly. So have you ever noticed why do they throw? So whenever parents they come and they say that my kid keeps throwing things. So the first question I ask, have you noticed what does he look for? Does he look the way the toy is getting thrown or the sound of it? Or does he wait to see what sound is going to come? So that's what I'm saying. You have to look, see all the behaviors, look for the sensory signals, think sensory wise that what is happening. It's going to make your uh, kid's life super easy because then you will be able to provide that kind of. Now, for example, if I am interested in something, for example, I need to eat cake, and if my mom provides me a cake, I'll be super happy, right? So if your kid provides, if your kid needs that kind of sensory input, and you will provide them, they will be super happy. So recently only there was one new kid who came who was having lots and lots of behavior, lots and lots of tantrums. And then I started taking the therapy. I don't think so I have the therapy. So I started taking the therapy. Within I think a month or so, mother said that his hitting behaviors, his you know snatching, pinching, all those kicking, all those behaviors are at place. Now it's not there. He's much more calmer. What I did, I actually gave him lots and lots of sensory input. I made him play a lot in my session. I gave him, foam. I gave him lots and lots of water beads. We did lots and lots of messy play. So he was super calm. He was already getting those kind of sensory inputs where that he did not reach to that frustration level. He was happy with that, and his frustration level was not there. So he was all happy. And then those behaviors were not there. And even in the school, it seems mom only reported this to me. that in school they are saying that he's being very good in the school, he's not hitting, his behaviors and meltdowns are very it was still there. I'm not saying that it will completely go, but at least he's able to regulate himself, right? Same for the clapping, hand clapping, tapping, these kind of behaviors. I keep telling parents that try making it more functional. Try giving lots and lots of massages on hands. Try giving them water beads. Try giving them therapy. It's going to be helpful for them because they can feel the texture. One main thing which I usually tell to the parents, which is again my idea, and I see that it keeps on working. It works every time. So I give Fevicol to them lots of time. And sometimes people say, "Oh, Fevicol, this is a normal Fevicol or it's something else." So just a normal Fevicol. What happens is when I give Fevicol, it's all sticky on hands, and then they have to peel it off. So their other senses so active that they are more into peeling the Fevicol off rather than slapping and tapping, because either it's a discomfort for them that they have, oh, they don't like it. Even for us, it's really like that. If Fevicol is there in our hand, we have the tendency to first peel it off, right? And then they are able to regulate. They are calmer because it's a kind of texture, it's a kind of sticky texture, right? So yes. So coming to our behavioral problems, meltdowns and tantrums. So what happens when sensory needs are not met as required? Then it takes shapes into behavior, and when it just reaches or builds up, it ends up having the meltdowns, the negative experiences end up having. These kids, they have the meltdowns then. So as I said, in all the other problems, when you will see behavior, you'll be able to think sensory. They will not reach to this level of behavior. They'll be all calm. And that's the reason I gave you the last example of the kid who was having lots of behavioral problems, and people were not able to identify that why it is happening, why kid is getting so upset, or why kid is getting so violent, right? So those are the meltdowns and tantrums. Okay, so I think with this we'll move on to questions, and let's see the questions. Okay, just a second. Okay, so there are lots and lots of questions. We are already running out of time, but we'll see. We'll try to address as many as we can. Okay. Okay, there was disturbance in audio. Please loud your voice. Voice is not so clear. I am so sorry with this. Mm, I think nobody were able to hear or what? So there is one question. I think yeah. Okay, let's see this. How to differentiate between behavior and sensory need. So, as I said, when the sensory need is not being met for a very long time, it turns out to be a behavior. For example, if the kid has developed the habit of hitting for anything and everything, and it's not being resolved because of their sensory need of proprioception, where they need pressure or um, all these things, then it ends up having that as a behavior, because then you're not resolving their sensory needs. Another example I can give you for sensory. Okay, for example, the same, the how to differentiate between behavior and sensory. So if kid is vestibular seeking, he seeks that kind of movement. You are not making it functional. You are giving them 100 pounds of trampoline, etc., etc. You are building up their stamina, but then you are still not able to, help him out in the seeking part of it. So then they develop it as a behavior. They develop it as a habit. Okay, now then let's see the other. I am so sorry with the voice. If we can fix, probably we can have the another session sometime later. We You can follow us on our Google page, YouTube page. We keep posting videos over there. So yeah, we can do on if there is still a problem, you can always connect me. How to, okay, I cannot see this. Just a second. Many ASD kids does not like to do motor-based activities, and I think the question is not completed. I'm not able to understand that. It's just written many ASD kids does not like to do motor-based sensory activities. So, yeah, you have to make it more interesting. You have to make it more fun. As I said, you have to be involved with the kid. If you will just ask the kid, do, definitely the kid is not going to do it because it's a kind of work for them. So, you have to do along with the kid. So, now what I said about this thing that the kids like to run, and I want kid to sit with me. So, I cannot just force the kid come sit with me, right? So what I do, I run along with the kid, and then he'll be like, "Oh, what is happening with you? Why are you running?" So if I am imitating the kid, there are high chances they also will imitate. Lots of times I have seen that, and you have to make all those activities very very interesting. So other day I was taking session and I wanted kid to crawl and go in the tunnel. And what I did was I was trying to go in the tunnel and I said, "Oh, I am stuck, please help me." And surprisingly, he came from the left other side and he entered in the tunnel. So ultimately, that was my goal. But yeah, okay. So I think I answered that. So what is the next question? A child does not like to sit on a chair but can sit on a lap. What can be? I think the further I can see only the part of the question. Okay, yeah, I can see now. Okay, a child does not like to sit on a chair but can sit on a lap. What can be the possible sensory issue or problem? Probably you have to look for the chairs if there are any nails. The ends of the nails also, they don't like it. So you have to put cushion on it and you have to make it more comforting for the kid. Also, another thing can be when the kids are sitting on the lap, they can feel the, the proprioception wise it's more input because it's more of pressure, and with the chair that pressure they are not able to get. So instead, if you can make them sit on the chair and you can put a cushion on their lap, that also can be done. You have to get softer chairs, you have to try different textures, all those can be reasons. How to stop, okay, just a second, I come here. How to stop self-injurious behaviors like head banging. My kid bangs his hand on his head. My kid bangs his hand on his head. It is okay. So now, as I said, now self-injurious behavior. This might be happening for a very long time. When lots of times I have seen when the kid is trying to express, when the kid is trying to communicate, we are not able to understand, right? Which leads them into the frustration mode, and then all these things start, and when it keeps happening, it develops as a habit, right? So you have to see what is happening, why is he getting upset. One of the reasons could be that whatever he's trying to express we are not able to understand. So try giving visual cues, help them out with the lots of visual cues. You can actually give the visual cue of head banging, and you can put cross in that you shouldn't do that. If you want something you can ask. It can be the proprioceptive thing also, so you can try giving massages. The thera brush also you can give, like the pressure with the thera brush, all those activities you can give. You can check with your OTs, and all those sensory rights will be required for your. And if it's purely behavior, in sense that if he wants something and then he does it, then probably you have to look for the other professionals like ABA and all. Usually, I do not recommend ABA, but sometimes, yes, I do appreciate that their skills are also very nice, and we also use that. But at some point of time, it gets very monotonous. So, yeah, because then I was having one kid for anything and everything he'll do something, he'll ask for a reward, which is not usually possible, right? How many times we get rewards for everything? We do not get rewards for anything and everything, right? So yeah, at some point we should stop giving rewards and all those kind of things. But yeah, you have to look for the lots and lots of factors that what why this behavior is happening. And as I said, you can give lots of massages, the Wilbarger's protocol. So there is a TheraBrush, you can use that. You can give a vibrator. You can give lots of, swing, movement-based activities. And try with the tactile things also, like Fevicol and all. So at least that will reduce his anxiety. Okay. So, yeah, the another question, very interesting question. And please tell how to potty train my kid, my son, when he's diaper free. Okay, he's non-norm. Okay, so yes, lots of times, as I said, these kids they are scared to sit on the potty seat, right? Because the base of support is not there, and they are very scared that they might fall in or they are not able to balance that way. And I was having one kid. He used to hold on to his potty for 3 to 4 days also, but he will only do potty when the diaper is there. Now, why it happens? Because diaper gives them a base of sense of support. Um, Diapers gives him that comfort sensation that he's not gonna fall or he's not gonna you know get hurt or any kind of where he doesn't have to balance also much with the diaper. So what we usually do that if the potty seat is there, you can do a cutout of the potty seat, and like you can take a big cardboard, you can make a circle, a very small circle where the opening will be there, and that makes them more comfortable rather than just sitting on the potty. Or the small potty seats come for the kids and all. You can try with that also. Now again, as every kid is different, so you have to actually observe your kid more and more and look forward to what sensory problems he is facing, and based on that only, it's gonna be easy. Hello, I can ask. Yes, you can definitely ask in Hindi. I know Hindi, so you can ask me questions in Hindi as well. Okay, okay, let's move on to lots and lots of questions are there. So yes. Can you also help me to understand why a child will have a sudden meltdown in crankiness, especially after waking up from sleep? I already explained about the meltdowns and crankiness. It could be an overload, but then you have mentioned waking up from sleep. It's something where the routine has changed, the transition has happened, which they do not like. The sudden changes now that is very unpredictable. Now all these kids they like predictability. If there is something which is very unpredictable, they hate it or sudden transition change, they hate it. So that's one of the reasons, and yeah, that could be one reason where your kid is not. So if you can prepare your kid, maybe when before sleeping, you can tell, okay, next day we'll wake up, we'll have something interesting to do, all those things. That's gonna help the kid out, so that will reduce their anxiety. Again, this is something which is my opinion, but you have to still coordinate with your therapist and check if there are any other difficulties too. Okay, I'm so sorry. I think my voice was not clear. So lots of people are telling that also. So I'm sorry for that. There's some technical glitch over here. I want to know about hyperactive autism child with behavior issues. So I already explained that if your kid is hyperactive, do not force them to sit and do activities. Channelize their energy in the meaningful form, and then it's going to be easy for the kid to understand, regulate their system. Okay, so I think we are done with this. If you still have any queries, then we can definitely my number and email address is there. You can definitely coordinate with me and we can help you out. And as I said, we have our YouTube page. We keep putting up videos over here based on the different issues. Then you can also see that we also conduct lots and lots of webinars. So if you're interested, please check our website. So yeah, thank you all. I hope I have cleared a little bit of your doubts because the voice was a problem. So yeah, I don't know how the voice was the problem. Yeah, because of the technical glitch. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. And thank you all for joining us, for connecting with us, especially on the weekend, taking time out. And thank you, Autism Connect.